As an artist and content creator, I found myself asking questions that feel far removed from the act of creating. Will this painting make a clickable thumbnail? Will it stop someone mid-scroll? These are the questions that I really have to think about when I'm making a video, for example. Some of my most meaningful works don't fit these criteria. Those paintings, they never become videos because they don't fit the rules of online content. That doesn't mean that I don't make them. I make a lot of art that doesn't end up here on YouTube. I might make it and then just post it on Blue Sky or Instagram, but I don't waste time and energy creating a video out of it because I know that here it wouldn't make sense for this platform. I was recently in this art exhibition in Atheneum, and the whole theme of this curated gallery exhibition was to find these sort of modern Gothic influences in art history and bringing all of those elements together. So these paintings by themselves wouldn't create that sense of dark, mysterious dread. But when combined and curated into this gallery exhibition, it gave those paintings a whole new kind of angle to how to see them, how to view them through this sort of dark, morbid viewpoint. And the whole exhibition space itself was decorated in this way with blood red walls and these archways and these beautiful Gothic light decorations. That whole mood is only possible because it's a physical space and you don't just run by this art like you speed past all of the art that you see online. The whole space itself makes you stop and pay attention. In a gallery setting, a painting has a lot more time to connect with the viewer. It's surrounded by white walls, but when I'm making a painting and it's competing with all of these colorful, beautiful thumbnails on YouTube, then I don't get the same chance of letting the image be clever or the painting to have its meaning connect with the viewer over time. So there's a difference between how I make a painting for online or a painting that is intended to be printed at a certain scale on someone's home or workspace. At this point, you might be wondering, what's the difference between painting for the internet and painting for print? Well, if you think about the target platform where your painting is mostly going to be viewed on, resolution might not be that important. If your art is mostly going to be viewed on Instagram or Blue Sky, then resolution can be quite small because the platform will compress it anyway. However, if you're painting for print, then the scale of the print matters and the material of the print matters. Details such as these textures, they won't be visible online when the image is scaled down and you're seeing the painting in a scale that the social media platform has chosen for you. However, when it's on your wall, I personally think that details like these are exactly what kind of sustains the visual interest in a piece like this, and these are the things that I like seeing in my own work when I have them printed on my walls. And I'm not saying that you should buy my prints on your walls, but have your own prints on your own walls to appreciate details such as these. And they will also remind you that art is more than just painting for the internet, and that you actually are getting some work done. So many people start painting and then they just paint for their own hard drives, and it can feel like you're treading water and not really getting anywhere. But when you physically see your art, it just motivates you in a completely new way. Sometimes it can motivate you in ways when you see that, okay, I wouldn't make that mistake anymore, or you can just appreciate the art that you have already done. All of those different uses of art have different needs. And this painting, for example, I am painting for print. I already know that this is not going to be a super clickable thumbnail, so I'm not burdening the creation process with that kind of expectation. So between this gap between how art is made and what the use for that art is, what are we exactly missing? Why is this important? Let's look back at art history and see how this used to be, especially these two artists, because their artworks align with what's popular currently in this day and age. Dramatic, high-contrast, visually striking pieces. But if we dig deeper, we'll see that in this age, there used to be tons of different paintings that we never see these days. Quieter works from their era that don't command the same attention today. These paintings aren't less valuable, they just don't suit the fast, flashy world that we live in currently. Of course, bright, bold, and high-contrast works dominate online spaces. They're attention magnets. The point of this video is not to say that there's anything wrong with vibrant, colorful paintings. Obviously, I like to do them. Colorful painting can still have a message, it can still be meaningful. This is just about realizing and acknowledging that internet algorithms like to treat people as this one niche, that the more you create content, the more you are pushed into doing this one single thing that performs well for you. But you, as a human being, you're more than that, and you have the potential to grow into something else. Always, no matter what the numbers say. If we only focus on what performs well online, we risk losing the vast richness that art has to offer. So how do we break free and step out of this bubble that internet has created us? Because especially if you're a beginning artist or somebody who is just working towards having art as their own career, if you're just starting out, it's normal to have low confidence in the work that you create, and let these numbers guide you and your entire style into something that is just meant to please others. To quote Seth Godin, if everything is done and produced by target market research, everything turns into porn. So let's see what this is in practice and step out of that bubble. The power of slowing down. When was the last time that you visited a gallery, explored art that you didn't like, or spent time with a piece that didn't make sense at first glance? These experiences push your boundaries and challenge you into thinking in new ways. Art doesn't have to be pretty, fun, or easy to digest to be valuable. Sometimes its power lies in making us uncomfortable or showing us a perspective that we have never considered. By having a set day in a month where you just visit a gallery, if your town happens to have a gallery that has rotating different exhibitions, just go and see whatever is new and commit to that practice, regardless of what is in there. Don't look up, is this an exhibition that I might enjoy? Just go to the same place anyway, and that way you can create a sustainable practice of exposing yourself to new experiences in a gallery space that aren't just what you like. And this way you can expand that visual imagination library that you have. It can create new possibilities for your art as well. I'm not gonna say that like colorful works that have high contrast always do well and low contrast ones don't. It's not that simple. Sometimes exploring and trying something new works better than something that you know that is going to perform well. I love creating bold, colorful works because that's just the way that I see world most of the time. But at home, when I'm unwinding, I gravitate toward quieter, understated pieces, the kind that let my mind wander. These pieces don't perform well online most of the time, but they have a value of their own. Creativity thrives when it's given space to experiment, to explore, and sometimes to fail. Of course, there's this added pressure that when I'm teaching students concept art in a class, that it might feel like I need to kind of hit the high marks with every single art piece that I make. And if I make a painting that has like really low likes on Instagram or something, that I might seem less credible as an art teacher. But to me, I feel like for the credibility of myself doing this job, I need to lead by example. I need to fail and show that experimentation is part of the work. Because I also need to grow. I need to and I want to be a better artist. I want to explore different creative possibilities because they always open up new doors for me to talk about different issues that aren't yet part of my art. Art is about communication, and learning the language is the entire process of becoming and being an artist. Here we come to the most important part of this video, the magic of personal projects. These projects that you make just for yourself, they can lead to unexpected surprises, new ideas, and even breakthroughs. And just because it's different, it can be insanely successful sometimes. Some of my most well-performing artworks, they are the ones that I have created with this mindset, thinking that like, okay, I'm gonna paint this painting full well knowing that it's going to fail and it's not going to generate any traffic for me online. Lo and behold, I have been proven wrong time and again. No matter how much information I get for what is performing well, I'm constantly surprised by how just like ignoring all of that data sometimes just results in better results. And for what reason that is, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. One of my most memorable experiences with this came from this video. I didn't think that anybody would care about this topic. I wrote it with the mindset that this might completely fail. It was a project that I felt was important for my personal growth, and I told myself, even if 1 or 2 people find value in this, it'll be worth it. To my surprise, it resonated deeply with so many of you, and you can see that in the comments of that video, how important that video was for so many who started creating art the way that I did and had the same struggles with just not liking the act of drawing and finding the way to grow as an artist. So the big takeaway from that is, whenever your brain says that this won't perform well online, question that. Honestly, you don't know that. You might have data indicating that, but you need to explore those ideas every now and then. Maybe not all the time, but have room in your schedule for personal experiments that are done with the full acknowledgement that they might fail, and that's fine. That's part of the process. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Especially now that we are going into a new year, and I'm sure that you will have plenty of motivation to start chasing your creative goals. Whatever your creative goals are for the next year, I hope that you plan some time for exploration. Set aside moments where you aren't focused on either growth or learning, but instead on letting the creativity take you wherever it wants to go. And just see what ends up on your canvas after that. These projects don't happen on their own. Schedule time for projects where the outcome doesn't matter, where you let go of the idea that it has to grow your online presence. Do it just for you. Those moments will teach you something about art, about yourself, about the value of trying, even when failure seems likely. Most importantly, even if your experiments don't perform well in numbers, you'll feel their impact in long term. The doors that you have opened yourself by doing those pieces will remain open. So be brave and be proud of your failures, because they paved the way for discoveries you couldn't have made otherwise. You can see the real-time process of all of these paintings in membership live streams, and the deep canvas brush used in this painting and this painting, that brush along with all of these color palettes are downloadable until the end of this January. To start your journey into landscape painting, I recommend watching this video.